So diving straight into this video we are, and as you can see, we are already on my Twitter profile because this video is all about understanding what actually is a Twitter username. So there's a little bit of confusion out there in Twitter land between the profile name and and your username, or sometimes they even might call it a handle, but that's what this video is all about. We're going to explain the ins and out of it for you exactly. And no matter which of the platforms you might be watching this video on, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and tick the little bell icon to stay up to date with all of my weekly content. So what actually then is a Twitter username or Twitter handle? Sometimes people refer to it as well. Now, it is confusing for people, and that's why I'm doing this video. So having a look at my profile now here. So you can see my name is listed twice. I've got my name here in the bold text, Mark Warnken, and under that I have my name listed again as Mark Warnken, but in front of that I have the @ symbol. That's the way we refer to that. So my profile name is the bold one. My username is the @ Mark Warnken as well. So it is a little bit confusing, and there are some limitations on what we can do with both of them. So the profile name, lots of people can have, but with a username, it is only unique to the individual, or that one person, or that one Twitter account. Think of it a bit like a phone number. Think of it a little bit like an email address or a website. And there are limitations as well in regard to the number of character spaces. So I'm going to explore all of that. But in a nutshell, that's what it is, the difference straight away. But let's dive in deeper to see the combinations and restrictions that we might have on creating a username and your profile name as well. So profile name and username are different, as I just mentioned. So with your profile name, I've gone straight with my own name, Mark Warnken, because it makes sense. And you actually get 50 character spaces to come up with, a business name or something creative, that type of thing. And multiple people can actually have the same profile name. But when we move down to the username or the handle, and that's signified by the @ symbol in front of it, @Mark Warnken, it is 15 character spaces max. And that's when we may need to get a little bit creative, because 15 character spaces is not that much at all. And for a lot of people, they can't actually get their business name or their brand name or even their own name. And quickly, here's a really good example of that in play. So Warren Smith is a sports journalist or a sports broadcaster here in Australia. His profile name is Warren Smith, his name, but he's gone with a handle of Warren Smith Fox, because he works on the Fox broadcasting network as a sports reporter. So profile name for Warren is his own name, Warren Smith, but the username or the handle is Warren Smith Fox. So what should you use as your own Twitter username or Twitter handle? Well, the first, I suppose, thing we need to consider is you only get 15 character spaces. So you most likely will have to be creative if your own personal name doesn't fit in, or your own business name doesn't fit in, or probably more importantly, if both of them are already taken. Because remember, I said at the start of this video, lots of people can have the same profile name, but the username has to be totally unique. That's right, like a telephone number, like an email, like a website. So I was actually quite lucky in regard to me setting up my Twitter profile, because I was able to get @ Mark Warnken, firstly, 12 character spaces long, so it was under 15, and no one else had taken it. I suppose my name is not overly popular around the world. So some alternatives, though, could have been, now I could have gone with social media with Mark. I would have liked that one, but it's 19 character spaces, so that would have been too long. SM with Mark for 10 character spaces, but I wouldn't have gone with that one because SM wouldn't have really, I suppose, overly highlighted my social media. People would have confused. Social Mark would have been a good one, 10 character spaces, but that one was already taken. Social media now is a real, I think is quite a good one for anyone teaching in the social media space. 14 character spaces, but that one was taken as well. So yeah, you will most likely have to get a little bit creative. People then start using underscores and numbers and things like that. But try not to use numbers, though, for your own business or brand if you're just starting out, because it creates confusion, and it may be hard for people to find you. Now, I've used the example here of Channel 10. Now, Channel 10 here in Australia are a news organisation, so for them it works because we all understand that. But if you're starting out, try and avoid, if possible, utilising numbers. Back on my Twitter newsfeed, let's have a look at some creative or interesting usernames and see what combinations people have come up with. Now, first one we're having a look at is Forbes, the business magazine or the business account. For them, it was straightforward, but scrolling down up, here we go. Here's a good one, Fox League. Now, rugby league is a sport here in Australia. Their profile name is Fox League, but their username is Fox NRL for National Rugby League. So they've been a little bit creative with that. How do I pronounce that? Lumbali, whatever that one is. They were able to get their own profile name and username exactly the same. Let's see if I can come up with something a little bit creative. Here we go. This is a good one. The Sydney Morning Herald here in my home city of Australia, or Sydney. The profile name, Sydney Morning Herald. Here in Australia, quite often we refer to the Sydney Morning Herald as the SM. So they've gone with a username of SMH, which works great because it's significantly shorter, and we understand that's what it's called. Major League Baseball, there we go. That one's straightforward. Here we go, Heidi Watney. Now, I don't know who Heidi is. Her profile name, Heidi Watney, but she was able then to get her username as the same. Let me scroll down, see if I can come up with anything interesting. Now, this is an interesting one, social selling. Okay, daily social selling tips. I like the name of that business or the profile name. They've gone with something totally different. Look at this, noggle.com. So now what I find interesting about that, people aren't necessarily going to relate that one to this one. So my suggestion would be is ideally that's not the best match, because maybe social selling wasn't available or whatever, but Noggleton.com, there's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't automatically relate back to social selling. Let me see if I can find another one. And this is a really good example, a very simple one that a lot of us will have to go with. Deborah B. Solomon. Now, no doubt that is her own, her name, her full name. So it's gone with her profile name, but her username, she's gone with Deborah_Solomon. So that's how a lot of us will actually have to get by through utilizing this example. And the last one to be finishing up on, just to give you a good rounding out and a good idea, BBC News World, okay, that's the news service, 32 million followers around the world. Their username is just BBC World. So they've actually dropped the word news out. But anyway, that's a nice, very simple explaining how it's all done. So there we go. Hopefully you found this video informative, entertaining, and helpful. And I've opened you guys a little bit more to the world of Twitter and profile names and usernames and all of that type of thing. If you're watching this on my Twitter profile, don't forget to hit that follow button, follow me on Twitter. Equally, you might be watching it on my YouTube channel as well. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tick the little bell icon. Leave me a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from around the world. I love to hear people. I love to hear your feedback, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. I've got pretty thick skin now operating in the world of social media, and especially here on Twitter. You need to have, take the comments, not to heart, and just, go with the positive suggestions and ignore the sometimes the nasty ones as well. Mark Warnkins, Social Media Selling 123, signing off, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon in another one of my videos.